Thank you, Liam. Well, it does happen to be a Monday, if you guys hadn't, got the memo just yet, which means it's Meal Prep Monday because schools are fully back in session. We're really in the swing of fall now, even if the weather doesn't feel like it, like Liam was saying, and that means schedules are getting tighter and it can be a lot harder to find the time to cook or just make snacks or meals for yourself or your kids.
Absolutely. And now when I think back to school, one of the things I think of is lunch boxes. And that takes us straight over to Amanda. You've described this to us as an adult Lunchable.
Yes.
Can you kind of walk us through everything that's in here and why you decided to bring this meal?
Okay, well, the biggest reason is because I don't really cook. Let's just be honest. Okay,
that's fair.
So I am not a chef. Yes, I'm a dietitian, but I also don't really like to cook. However, I think sometimes people get confused when they're trying to put together a lunch and that whole meal prep philosophy. They're like, I gotta line it all up. I don't know how to do it. So what we're doing here with an adult Lunchable or like a snack box is just breaking everything down into its simplest components. So you could make, so in this one here, I have a little bit of chocolate, some fruit, some chips, some hummus, carrots, and then you could even add on a little protein shake or like a protein yogurt just to kind of keep you fuller.
Yeah.
But you could have this for snack, you could have this for lunch, and you can kind of pick on it, as you're working throughout the day. So I just think they're really easy. I did this all through things I had in my fridge.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I'm seeing a variety. We have 3 different boxes here, each with different things. What's your favorite of your 3 right here? You got to pick one.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like asking a favorite child. You can't ask that.
I know. Well, the one that has chocolate probably, because I think every meal needs to have a little bit of something sweet. But I do love a little mango.
So
that's mango. Okay.
Yeah, it's mango.
So I'm curious, how do you determine what makes? Because somebody could be watching and just like, all right, I have the containers. I don't know what to put in to make my own adult Lunchable.
Yeah.
How do you determine what's going to end up in each one of these?
Okay, so I just think about the macros, right? Protein, fat, and carbs. Okay. So you want to have a little bit of everything. When you have protein and fat, that's going to keep you a little bit fuller for longer. Carbs, we need those for energy, and also they're just delicious.
I was going to say carbs are always the winner for me.
Yeah, same. So if you see here in this one, the small one, there's cottage cheese, which is your protein. I put cucumber for your little carbohydrate. Edamame, roasted edamame, which are great. And then again, another little carbohydrate with the mango, so that's sweet. So again, that's a snack one. You could do that for your kids. Again, it's just so simple and so quick and easy.
And I feel like a lot of us fall into the trap of going out and grabbing something cheap to eat for our lunch because it's quick and easy.
Right.
It doesn't end up actually being all that cheap.
No.
How much are each of these going to run you?
I mean, when you break it down, because this is all things I had in my fridge, so I've already bought that stuff and I use it. So all these things you can use in different recipes, different snacks. So a couple bucks, if that. So really inexpensive.
So budget friendly, versatile, and I feel like, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak for sure, but I feel like this is something you could teach your kid how to make.
Yes, you could, if you were that type of parent. No, I have a 13-year-old. If I said make a snack thing, he would look at me and say, what are you talking about? But yes, a child could absolutely do that. You can pack it in a backpack. They could have it for when they get home from school. And again, you could make 4 of these and just have one for each, each weekday.
You got to have a responsible child to let them take the reins here. I'd be throwing Gushers in this. We'd have some fruit roll-ups. We'd have everything. Now, but if somebody wanted to find the healthy recipes before we run out of time here, where can they find more about Happy Valley Nutrition, of course?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Just go to our website, happyvalleynutrition.com, and we'll have something all about the snack boxes.
All right, perfect. Well, you heard it there, folks. We're going to be back in our next half hour with more from our next hour more with Amanda, the registered dietitian with Happy Valley. So stick around for our next half hour and rest of the show. Thank you as always, Liam. Now, folks, if you didn't know, today happens to be Monday, which means it's Meal Prep Monday. Now, the catalyst for this is schools are officially back in session. I mean, we're basically in October at this point.
Yeah.
So that means schedules are getting a lot tighter. It can be hard to come up with ideas and just to cook or make meals 3 days a week.
Honestly, I'm not a huge cook, so our next guest, Amanda, bringing all of this in is right up my alley. Now, these are what you described to us as adult Lunchables, which I love, first of all.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about these, you mentioned that pretty much anything can go into them. We have little baby grapes, we have almonds, eggs, what was this, cottage cheese. So there's a lot of variety. And as a dietitian, what does this do for you as you're trying to fuel up for the day, or as your kid is?
Right. So why I like this is because you're breaking everything down into components. So you don't have to think about, how am I going to put a meal together? Is it going to be a sandwich or a casserole? Like, that can be overwhelming for a lot of people. This just breaks it down. And so we're focusing on the different macronutrients like protein, fat, and carbohydrates. That's chocolate-covered almond. This one is filled with little chocolate pieces. But in addition, we have crackers and hummus. So these you can make ahead of time. You can make them for yourself as an adult or for your child. You could just store them in the fridge. They're really inexpensive and a really good way to just clean out before you go back to the grocery store.
Genius.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just, again, and for those who don't like to cook.
Self-included.
This is great. And